Both yesterday's video with the error, so be aware of it please. Both yesterday's video and this video will be posted on Google Classroom later this evening. For now though, I want you to follow along with what you guys tried to solve yesterday, and we're just going to do 1, 2, 3, and 4 in this video. Probably won't get through all 4 in one class period just because of the fact that you guys are going to pause it here and there to work on it. Third period. Guys, you got noisy every time it was paused. The pausing is here for you to be able to learn better. Please take advantage of that time to learn the math. Don't take advantage of that time to talk more. All right? So I'm calling you guys out. Number 1, we look for, since it's by substitution, we look for that easy equation. It's fairly simple to see. It's that middle one. So we're going to solve that one for z. Negative 5z is equal to 25. Divide both sides by negative 5. And I get z is equal to negative 5. I'm going to take that and I'm going to plug it in to my first and my third equations. So my first equation becomes x plus y plus 2 times negative 5 is negative 7. And my third equation is going to be 3x minus 3y minus 6 times negative 5 equals 3. So hopefully I can get through this one with no errors. We'll see. I just kind of go on cruise control and don't necessarily fully pay attention. I should. So we get 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. I'm going to add 10 to both sides, and I get x plus y equals 3. On the other one, I have 3x minus 3y plus 30 equals 3. I'm going to subtract 30 from both sides. I get 3x plus 3y equals negative 27. Ha ha ha. Yeah, look at me. Look at me making those errors. Hey, that's a minus sign. Because my brain picked up I did something wrong. Alrighty. Now, earlier yesterday I told you guys that if we see something we can divide by, every single item in this second equation I worked out is divisible by 3. So let's go ahead and divide both sides by 3, because it's always, well, a lot of the time, I'd say above 90% of the time, it's easier to work with a simplified equation. So dividing everything by 3, we get x minus y equals negative 9. I now take both equations, I'm going to stack them, and I'm lucking out, of course this is number 1, so that's probably why I'm lucking out, that my y's are automatically going to cancel. They are the opposite sign from each other. So I get x equals negative 6. I can simply substitute that back into, wrong spot. Substitute that back into here. I get negative 6 plus y equals 3. Add 6. I get y equals 9. Now that I know x and y, I can substitute them in. I'm going to delete this arrow. So I'm going to take my x value, I'm going to put it into here, and I'm going to take my y value, and I'm going to put it into there. So I'm going to delete those arrows. I'm going to get negative 6 plus 9 plus 2z equals negative 7. So negative 6 plus 9 is 3. Subtract 3. I get 2z equals negative 10. Divide by 2, and z is negative 5. Sorry for those of you in the back that can't see that. Pause it, stand up, do what you need to do. So my solution is negative 6, 9, negative 5. There's a little bit more to each of these problems, and it's an annoying more, but I'll go over that on Monday with you guys, what that more bit is. Number 2. Ooh, I see big numbers. It's okay. It'll be okay. Shh. All right. So we want to work this down. So notice, guys, that x is in both the first and second one. So what we're going to do is we're going to solve for y and z. So on equation 1, equation 2, equation 3, on equation 1, we're going to solve for y. Now on equation 2, we're going to solve for z. And you're going to see why in just a moment. So equation 1, we have 20x plus 20y equals 46. All right, so let's solve for y. We're going to subtract 20x from both sides. And I get 20y equals 46 minus 20x. Now I'm going to do something a little sneaky here. Let's see if I want to actually. Sure. So, neat trick. I want you guys to try to contemplate. You know what? No, I'm not going to do it. I talked myself out of it mentally while I was going through. All right, let's solve for y. I'm going to divide both sides by 20. So y is equal to 46 over 20 minus 1x. Because don't forget that that division's happening in both items. I've got to divide that 20 into both items. All right, so now I've solved for y. So now I'll take equation 2 and solve for z. So I've got 50x plus 20z equals 126. So now I'm going to subtract 50x from both sides. And I get 20z is equal to 126 minus 50x. Divide both sides by 20. And I'm going to get z is equal to 126 over 20 minus 50x over 20. On both these, I'm going to reduce it really quick. 46 over 20 is going to be 23 over 10 minus x. And z is going to be 126 over 20. That's going to be 63 over 10. Minus 50 over 20, the zeros just are going to cancel out. I'm going to get 5x over 2. So I'm going to take both my y value and my z value, and I'm going to substitute in, and you should see that the only thing I'm going to have in this third equation will be x's. So I'll only have one variable. 60x plus 10 times 23 over 10 minus x plus 50 times, I'm going to have to delete my arrows, 50 times 63 over 10 minus 5 over 2x equals 263. While that sucks, I have all these fractions. When I distribute, guys, those fractions are going to go bye-bye. You'll see in a second. Don't forget that we can call that 10 over 1 if we'd like and 50 over 1. So we have 60x plus 230 over 10 minus 10x plus, so 50 times 63, that's 630 times 5, so that's 3,150 over 10 minus 50 times 5 is going to be 250 over 2x equals 263. Every single one of these fractions reduces and is gone. So I'm going to do 2 more simplification steps. There we go. Now combine like terms. 60 minus 10 is 50. Minus 125 is negative 75. 23 plus 315 is 338. And that's equal to 263. Subtract 338 from both sides. We're going to get negative 75. So I'm going to scroll this up a bit, just so I can fit it. Negative 75, x equals negative 75. Divide both sides by negative 75, and x is 1. Now none of these are going to be super pretty, so if I want to find y, I'm going to plug that into there, and I get y is equal to 23 over 10 minus 1. And then I'll plug x into way over there, and I'm going to get z is equal to 63 over 10 minus 5 over 2 times 1. Over here I have 23 minus 1, got to get a common denominator. 23 tenths minus 1, so I got to get a denominator of 10 over 10. So we have 13 tenths is y. And here I have 63 over 10 minus 5 over 2. I need a common denominator, so I'm going to multiply by 5 over 5. So I get 63 over 10 minus 25 over 10. And we're going to get 38 over 10 is what z is. I'm very happy that we solved for x first, because x was the only pretty solution. So our final answer is 1, 13 over 10, and 38 over 10. All right, that's problems 1 and 2, so we'll see how you guys did on those. Whoop. Gonna copy that over. So we choose a variable to get rid of. For the heck of it, I'm going to choose s. Label my equations 1, 2, and 3. So if I want to get rid of s, I can do equation 1 plus 6 times equation 2. Right? Because then that'll get me a negative 6s in equation 2. So I'm going to write negative r plus 6s minus 4t equals 17, and 6 times, now equation 2, negative 4r minus s minus 4t equals 7. Going to go ahead and distribute. So I have negative r plus 6s minus 4t equals 17. I have negative 24r minus 6s minus 24t equals 42. Add those. That's going to give me negative 25r. My s's are going to cancel like I want. Negative 28t equals 59. All right, so I'm going to do that again. I want to get rid of s, so I'll do equation 1 again. This time I'm going to do plus a negative times equation 3. Negative 6 times equation 3. So I write equation 1, negative r plus 6s minus 4t equals 17. And I'm going to do negative 6 times equation 3 and distribute. So I have negative r plus 6s minus 4t equals 17. And here I'm going to have 6r minus 6s minus 30t equals 90. Add those. I get 5r, which is fantastic. My s's cancel. Minus 34t equals 107. In order to get my r's to match, I'm going to multiply this one by 5. So I can get 25r. Distribute. I get 25r minus, that's 170. t equals 535. And then I bring in my other equation, negative 25r minus 28t is equal to 59. I'm going to add these. My r's cancel. I get negative 198t is equal to, what is that, 594? And I have no idea what 594 divided by 198 is. I'm going to guess negative 3, but let's double check with a calculator. 594 divided by 198, it's a 3. So I'm going to divide both sides by negative 198, and I get t is negative 3. Great. Now that I know t is negative 3, I can substitute it into one of my other equations. So I'm going to go ahead and substitute right here to get r. So I have 5r minus 34 times negative 3 is equal to 107. So I have 5r, and 34 times 3 is 102, plus 102 equals 107. Subtract 102 from both sides. 5r is equal to 5. Divide by 5. And r is 1. Now that I know t is negative 3 and r is 1, I will substitute both of those back into, I'll go with equation 3. I'm going with equation 3, so if I plug it into equation 3, I get negative 1 plus s plus 5 times negative 3 equals negative 15. So I have negative 1 plus s minus 15 equals negative 15. Add 15 to both sides. Those cancel. Negative 1 plus s is equal to 0. Add 1, s is 1. So RST is 1, 1, negative 3. And there's my solution. All right, number 4. Last one, probably way longer than the period allows on a minimum day. But like I said, I'll post this on Google Classroom Friday night. While I have your attention, maybe, hopefully, guys, you really need to practice these. Try solving for other variables. Guys, cover these up. They're lengthy, I get it, but we need to practice. This one, I'm going to go ahead and solve for r, just to change it up a little bit. So I'm going to do equation 3 plus negative 2 times equation 1. All right, so equation 3 is 6r plus s plus 5t equals negative 1. Negative 2 times equation 1. I get negative 2 times 3r plus 2s plus 3t equals negative 2, and I'm multiplying both sides by negative 2. Rewrite, I have the top equation, 6r plus s plus 5t equals negative 1. The bottom one I'm distributing. So I'm going to get negative 6r minus 4s. Aha, not going to get me today. Negative 6r minus 4s minus 6t is equal to positive 4. My r's cancel as I want. I get negative 3s minus t is equal to 3. All right, so I canceled r using equations 3 and 1. So now I'll use equations 3 and 2. So that's going to be equation 3 plus 2 times equation 2. So equation 3, 6r plus s plus 5t is negative 1. 2 times equation 2, negative 3r plus s minus 2t equals negative 1 times 2 times both sides. So I get, rewrite, 6r plus s plus 5t is equal to negative 1. And distributing here, I get negative 6r plus 2s minus 4t is equal to negative 2. My r's cancel. I get 3s plus t is equal to negative 1. Oh, No, no, no. Sorry, I didn't see that that one's negative. That's going to be negative 1 minus 2, which is negative 3. We can go on, and I'm going to go on, but there's an important thing here. So I'm going to take my two equations. I can already stack them. I have 3s plus t is equal to negative 3, and I have negative 3s minus t is equal to positive 3. If I combine those cancel, I get 0. Those cancel, I get 0. Equals, those cancel, I get 0. So I get 0 equals 0. I don't have a variable. If you notice, these pretty much matched each other before I did it. If you guys get that scenario, if we have a scenario where they match, what happens is we have overlapping planes. So this is going to be infinite solutions. This is just like when we did whether or not lines cross once or no times or infinite times. This is an infinite scenario. So since we got a true statement, we have infinite, looks like I drew an onk, we have infinite solutions. If we received a false statement after doing one of these, like 5 equals 8, then we'd have no solutions to this system of equations. But since we got a true statement, we have infinite solutions. All right, hope you guys have a great weekend. Please, please study, focus, do what you need to do.